Welcome to SherWeb's A New Way to Sell Office 365. My name is Jason Brown. I'm the host of this webinar and Director of Product Management here at SherWeb for our productivity suite of products. Today we are joined by David LeBlanc from Microsoft, who's the CSP Partner Channel Manager.
Hi.
So what we're going to cover today is an overview of the SherWeb Partner Program, what is new with regards to the Microsoft Cloud Solutions Provider Program, also known as the CSP program, how to leverage this program to generate more profits for your business, and how you can better position Office 365 for your customers. So let's start with a little bit of a background history of SherWeb. SherWeb is a born-in-the-cloud company that started in 1998 and is dedicated to hosted solutions. We have over that time, we have amassed more than 4,000 partners and 25,000 organizations which are serviced by those partners. We are currently in over 100 countries, that mainly servicing North America, but we also have 100 companies and partners in other countries. SherWeb currently has more than 200 staff, with a lot of these technical and customer service people with Microsoft certifications. Over the last several years, we've been listed in the Deloitte Technology Fast 500. We were the first person to launch Exchange 2013 in 2013, and that year we also won the Hosting Partner of the Year award. Currently, we are a Tier 2 cloud service provider to Microsoft Office 365 services. So let's go into a little bit more detail around SherWeb's partner program. SherWeb has an ethos of choice. We like to give our partners choice when it comes to deciding how they want to service their customers. So with that, we have three different options. We have the reseller white label option, the distributor co-branded option, and the advisor referrals option. These options allow you to pick and choose what best suits your current business model. Some partners have two of these will be a reseller under the co-branded or the white label distributor, as well as an advisor, depending upon what they want to provide their customer. So looking at those three different scenarios, under the ownership aspect of the customers, under the reseller and the distributor, they're your customer. You can bill them, you can price them how you sit, you can service them how you need to. And under the advisor, you are referring those customers to SherWeb and they become direct SherWeb customers. From a branding perspective, under the reseller model, you have the option to brand it as your own, leveraging off that existing brand that you've worked hard on, or you can use the distributor model, which will allow you to partner your brand with the SherWeb brand. This can give you your brand a little bit more reach in terms of allowing you to take advantage of the SherWeb network. And as discussed, under the advisor partner program, it's all SherWeb branded. From a support perspective, that's probably one of the biggest differentiators. Under a reseller, they're your clients and you're the first level of support, and you would then contact SherWeb for the second level of support. Under the distributor and the advisor model, you would leverage off SherWeb's 24/7 customer support. In terms of the pricing models, with the reseller and the distributor model, you can bill and price your products and services as you wish. We bill you and then you bill your customer, in a nutshell. Under the advisor model, there is a one-time 150% commission fee paid up front after 60 days have elapsed, and then there's the 7% ongoing trailing commissions. So both these models give you flexibility in what you can do with your customers. All these three models are underpinned by an enablement platform. This enablement platform allows you to support and create offerings for your customers, either that through working with our dedicated sales team to come up with new marketing and promotional ideas and business development ideas, or working with our sales team in terms of understanding and our training team to get understanding of the solutions that we have at hand. There's also training available, one-on-one training for all our partners, and this will be organized by your account rep that you would get when you became a partner of SherWeb. Finally, there's the Partner Toolbox, which contains sales and marketing material, as well as other TCO and brandable material that you can use to leverage off. So other partner benefits that are covered in our programs, there's all-inclusive migration services. These services allow you to peace of mind and have a no downtime migration for any of your customers' current email and solutions. Dedicated VIP partner support, so we have a dedicated phone line and dedicated VIP support technicians that'll be there to help you and your customers get the best experience possible. A 24/7 technical support line. If you are using the co-branded model, you could provide that to your customers and they could call us 24/7 a day to support any issues that may arise. You would get a dedicated business development resource, which is there to help you grow your business. And finally, Cumulus. Cumulus is our partner portal that allows you to manage your customer services. Anything from email, Office 365, to performance cloud services can be managed and created and added for your customers via this portal. There's a one-stop shop for all your SherWeb services. So now what I'll do is I will hand over to David, and David will take us through the Microsoft Cloud Services Partner Program.
Thanks very much, Jason. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay and that my audio is coming through fine. I guess, Jason, you'll just let me know if I need to switch to my phone.
Will do. Sounds great, David.
Okay, great. Thanks everyone for joining us this afternoon. I know how busy people are, and so to take your time out of the day to hear about the CSP program and the offerings from SherWeb is fantastic, so thanks again for your attention. I'm just going to take a few minutes now and walk you through what is the Cloud Solution Provider Program in case this is your first time hearing about it. I'll talk about why Microsoft created it, who it's intended for from a partner perspective and from a customer perspective, and also talk about the comparison between CSP and other licensing programs from Microsoft. So if we take a step back and try to ask, why did Microsoft create this program? What is the purpose of CSP? We reflected on it, and about a year ago when we created CSP, we looked at the world, this new cloud-first world that we're all living in and working in. And what partners were continuously telling us was that in the new world of cloud, we want to own the customer relationship, we being the partners. We want to service the complete customer lifecycle, and we want the ability to attach our services. So as companies like Microsoft are creating cloud services, we want that ability to still retain ownership of the customer relationship. And it was these desires of partners that really drove us to create the CSP program and hopes, the things that we were trying to address with the CSP program. Very specifically, what is CSP? Well, CSP is it's a program or a platform for partners from Microsoft that enable you to take a Microsoft cloud service, Office 365 for example, and then sell it with your own offerings and services or services provided by SherWeb to your customers. Through the CSP program, you will own the complete customer relationship. And so that includes everything from direct billing, as Jason had mentioned earlier, to provisioning and managing the customer's environment, as well as providing support. And as we saw in the different programs before, there are varying levels of how this responsibility can be split up with SherWeb, but together under the program, you'll be providing these complete customer relationship factors to your customers. So CSP very much is it's a new licensing program, and that's the other way to think of it. It's not just about a partner program, it is also a new licensing program. If we think of open as a license type, the enterprise agreement as a license type, this is comparable to those. So why did Microsoft create this program? Well, I already mentioned that the seeds of CSP were really grown out of the desires of partners, but there are also customer reasons for it too. We looked at customers, interviewed customers, and it turns out that this is the way that customers want to buy their cloud solutions. If ultimately the cloud is meant to deliver, greater flexibility to customers, but also more peace of mind and letting customers focus on their business and not worry about their IT, then CSP makes a lot of sense from the way that customers want to buy the cloud. They want to go to one single vendor who can service all of their needs and provide it as a managed service versus project-based services that ultimately require their management after the project is done. So it is rooted in both customer and partner demands. And we also see CSP as a great fit for the small and mid-sized customer opportunities, or customer segments, I should say. And the reason being, again, that those organizations stand the most to benefit from cloud in terms of low startup costs, agility, scalability, and also from the fact that most of these companies probably don't have a whole lot of IT resources on staff, and so they leverage partner relationships a lot more in their IT space, and so CSP is definitely a great fit in this small and mid-sized market. Although technically as a licensing program, it can be sold to any size customer, from one seat startup company all the way up to large enterprise. And then the other reason why Microsoft created this, we looked around at the partners and the partner categories, and we saw this as an opportunity to activate partner business models such as managed service providers, such as hosters, and even, in some respects, ISVs as well. I want to take a minute to talk a little bit, though, about what it means to service the complete customer lifecycle, because this is a big part of what differentiates CSP from other licensing programs and other partner programs from Microsoft. When we think about servicing the complete customer lifecycle, there's really three broad categories or components to what that means. First is providing direct billing to the customer. And so as I've mentioned, through CSP, you own the billing relationship with the customer. That means that you provide the bill to the customer, or as Jason was mentioning earlier, Microsoft bills SherWeb, they bill you, and then you bill the end customer as one of the options. This enables a lot of great things like monthly billing. It also enables you to integrate the cost of a Microsoft Cloud subscription in with your managed services and provide it as one monthly recurring bill to your customers. So that's a very desirable value proposition to a lot of customers. And for you, it builds in a monthly annuity revenue stream. The next component to the customer lifecycle is obviously provisioning and managing. Activating the Office 365 subscriptions, setting up users, and so on and so forth. And again, all of that responsibility becomes yours, shared with SherWeb underneath the CSP program. And we know that SherWeb has the free migration services, so that goes a long way. But even after migration, helping customers get the most value out of their Office 365 subscription is a big part of what will ensure your monthly recurring revenue stream. And then finally, the last part is obviously owning support. And again, there's various options from SherWeb to provide that 24/7 support, but together you'll own this support to the customer. And if a customer were to call Microsoft and ask for support, and they're in the CSP program, we'd actually direct them back to you or back to SherWeb for their support. So it's a great benefit to a lot of partners who've said, I want to own and maintain that relationship. I want to be seen as the true service provider and value add provider to my customers. But with it comes a lot of responsibility, as you can see. So who can join the CSP program? Well, the good news is that any Microsoft partner can join CSP through a cloud distributor such as SherWeb. So that's probably the fastest route to getting into the CSP program, is to contact your SherWeb rep, or give us your information after this call so that we know how to get in touch with you and can go through this more. But that any Microsoft partner can join this program, which is great news. And we actually see that similar to our traditional channels in market like Open, we expect the vast majority of partners to be serviced through this cloud distributor model. And so if you're not a Microsoft partner today, the good news is becoming a Microsoft partner is actually free. The lowest, or the entry level of the Microsoft Partner Network, is called Community, and that's a free membership, and it provides you with things like Office 365 demo tenants, which are a great sales tool as you're thinking about being involved with the CSP program. It offers you unlimited online support from Microsoft engineers, so that can go alongside with providing support to customers. It doesn't supplement it. It doesn't allow you just to redirect questions to Microsoft engineers, but it is great there if questions come in that you just don't know how to help and support a customer. You do have that backing from Microsoft. There's also sales and technical training resources, access to partner incentives and special offers, and listing in our Pinpoint partner directory. And then, just to maybe also call out something which is the action pack, which is the next level. It does require an annual commitment, or there's an annual fee associated to it, but with that you get the incremental benefit of internal use rights. So access to Azure for internal use, Office 365 for internal use. It's a really great option that, if you're looking at the Microsoft Partner Network, you're looking to become more involved with the Microsoft Partner Network, I'd say that that's the 1-2 step, is community, then action pack. But as I mentioned, you can absolutely join the CSP program working with SherWeb as a free community MPN member. And so finally, I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk about the difference between CSP and the other licensing vehicles. And as I mentioned, CSP is, really at the heart, it's a licensing program, but it's also a partner program. So I actually think Jason covered this really well at the beginning when he said there's the advisor program today, which is more of a referral model, meaning the customer will purchase a Office 365 subscription directly from Microsoft, and then you receive a referral fee from us, and it's it's pretty healthy in the first year, but it drops off in the second and years on after that. Whereas with the CSP program, it's a top line margin program, meaning that there's a wholesale price that you will purchase it at, and then you'll mark up that price and sell that to your customer. That's how you'll make the margin on the cloud service itself, but really the lucrative part is in the managed services that you can attach on top of that and bundle with it to sell to your customers. And the great thing there is that that's a more consistent revenue stream because those margins stay intact beyond just the first year. So that would be the main difference between these two, on top of obviously supporting the customer lifecycle. Through the advisor model, because they're purchasing from Microsoft directly, they technically do still receive support from Microsoft. Their bill comes from Microsoft, and so on and so forth. And then just building on that point to round this out with a discussion about open licensing, as you can see, there's a lot more that comes with the CSP program, and they're just meant for different types of scenarios. If a very transactional customer who just wants to buy the license, open's a great option for them. Whereas when a customer is interested in recurring revenue streams, CSP is probably their best one. If they prefer the flexibility of monthly billing, the ability to add and remove users dynamically, and we build to the day on that. Those are kind of some of the extra benefits of it. And so that's the overview of the CSP program. I'm going to stay along until the end in case there's any questions. But Jason, I'll pass it back to you to talk a bit more about the SherWeb offerings in the CSP program.
Thanks, David. Yeah, so as David mentioned, and I forgot to raise it at the beginning, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to type them in, and we'll come to them in our short, quick question and answer session towards the end. So save those questions for David to the end. Okay, so David's done a good job there of explaining the CSP program. So now I'll go into a little bit more detail around what you get with SherWeb and the CSP program. So one of the main features and benefits of SherWeb is the free migration services that we offer. We have extended this to Office 365 as well. So when you have a customer, whether that be coming from Gmail or Lotus Notes or on-premise Exchange from older Exchange services, and they want to move across to Office 365 with SherWeb, we have our Midas migration team that will be able to help them with a no downtime migration. We also provide 24/7 bilingual local support to allow you to provide you an extra level of support for those Office 365 issues. We have an automated monthly billing cycle. So with other programs, you have to normally pay 12 months up front, so you're in a 12-month contract. With SherWeb, all our plans are month to month, and there is no annual yearly billing cycle up front. You control that billing, the billing and support of the end user, as David mentioned and I mentioned earlier, so that gives you the flexibility to create and set the plans and support level that you need for your customers. And you can also bundle Office 365 services with other services. Now, so this will give you more flexibility. We'll go into a little bit more detail later in the webinar, but this will give you a little bit more flexibility to add more value on top of just traditional Office 365 reselling. And finally, there is one bill for the end customer. So instead of receiving a bill from, say, Microsoft and then a bill from yourself, or even from an open provider or somewhere else where they've purchased a license, this will now allow you to provide one bill for your customer. So how to leverage the program? So one of the first steps, and one of the what I call one of the most interesting ones, is the multi-channel experience that Microsoft has created within the CSP program. This will allow you, if you're a partner of SherWeb today, or you're not a partner yet, if you become a partner with SherWeb, you will be able to move everything under the one shop. So if you've already have Office 365 customers and they are with other they're under other programs, and when you join SherWeb, you can move all those into the SherWeb bucket, I guess you would say, to make it easier for you and your customers to manage those licenses. So with the multi-channel, it basically allows partners to move subscriptions from an existing tenant from one provider to another. And it allows these subscriptions to coexist. So if you have sold some specific services to a customer through Advisor or Open, you could move that tenant across to SherWeb and sell them other services and keep both those services running in parallel. Or you could move them across and replace the existing services with the SherWeb license types. This program allows you and your customer to keep full control over the existing subscriptions, but also gives you the flexibility of adding the SherWeb subscriptions if you like. So just to show you how easy it is, I'm going to run through a very, very quick demo just to highlight this is how easy. So this here is an example of our Cumulus portal. So as a reseller, I would log in here and I would want to add a new client. So you type in what you would like to have as the client. Smiths & Son is the example I've go here. Once you do that, it pops the screen that gives you access to the product. So in this case, we've selected Office 365, and I've selected 5 business premium licenses. So this customer may already have 5 business premium licenses, or they may have other licenses they just want to add some extra licenses. You complete the customer's details, so where they are at, their location, their name, and then you would put in their current tenant address. So this is very important. If you have an existing customer, they will have a .onmicrosoft.com address. What you need to do is put that address in here. So as example, Smiths & Sons was the one I gave here, and then you would hit Save Changes. What that'll do is that'll then send a request through our migration team, and they will generate a unique approval link, you would call it, and send that to you in an email. This link is what you or your customer, depends on who has admin privileges, would need to click on and follow through the process. So you get that email, they click on the link, it launches this window and says log into Office 365. This will need to be the admin user. Log in. Once you log in, you'll be displayed this screen that says, do you accept the invitation from a cloud service provider, in this case SherWeb, to move your existing tenant under SherWeb's program. Authorize that, and that would then make that program available to you through the through the SherWeb partner program. So some of the things to probably note about this change doesn't affect their existing subscriptions. So if you say they had 5 business premium which you wanted to replace with the SherWeb business premium, they would still retain those. But what you would have to do is once we move them across and those 5 licenses from SherWeb are added, you would remove the old licenses and close down that billing relationship. That would then allow these licenses to take over. If you then wanted to upgrade or downgrade the license, you could just do that from within Cumulus, and that would control that. The second point there, adding like for like. So if you had a customer that wanted to come across and was moving, you need to ensure that you're moving from a business premium to a business premium. You cannot move from say a business premium then go up to an E3 license. You need to move across for the like for like and then do an upgrade afterwards. And as mentioned, we have our migration team, which is always there to support you, and they will help you along the way of this process. But it's a fairly simple process. There's no downtime. There's no actual mail migration. All the users, everything stays intact. It's really just a licensing change. So how to position Office 365 with your clients? So at a high level, we'll just go quickly through the plans of Office 365 just to give you an idea of the core plans that we sell. So within Office 365, there's the business and the enterprise plans. And within each one of those, they have really 3 distinct bundles that are the most popular plans. So on the business side, you have what's known as the business plan, which is the Office apps and OneDrive. On the enterprise side, you have that same plan type called Pro Plus. Now, the main differences between the business and the enterprise is the business seats are capped at 300 of any license type, whereas the enterprise is unlimited. So if you have an organization that, say, has 400 or 500 seats, and they were just after the business, just after the Office apps as an example, you would need to put them on a Pro Plus license. And the other differences between the business and Pro Plus are mainly around integration with Active Directory on the Pro Plus side, and there's also you get access to the Access Office app as well. So and there's a couple other little small features in there which we'll touch base shortly. The second group of plans, I guess, is the Business Essential and the Enterprise Pre-E1. These are Link, SharePoint, and Exchange plans based on Office 365. So the same restrictions apply between enterprise and business with the seat count. The other main differences really here in terms of enterprise and business is the Active Directory integration and so on. And then finally, the Business Premium and the Enterprise E3 are a combination of both. So you get the Office apps with OneDrive plus the Link, Exchange, and SharePoint services all in one bundled app. Now, all of these plans also have available to them as add-ons Visio and Project and CRM and all the other Office 365 services. Okay, so just going to give you a couple of examples here. So in this is a business, a business example. You might have a customer that is on 2007, 2010 Office, and they are looking to upgrade to the latest version of Office. Just they want to go to 2013, and because of some business need. So the business plan is the best solution for them. Out of the box, they can get the new business, the new Office apps, I should say. That'll be 2013, and when the new version of Office apps comes available, they would get access to them. So they're always up to date, and they're always on the latest version. It would also give them access to the mobile and tablet apps for those devices. So whether it's Android, iOS, or Windows Phone, they would have access to the apps for that. It also would give them 1 terabyte of OneDrive for business. So if they may be using a Box or Dropbox solution today, which has limited integration. With the OneDrive solution, they'd have further integration in with the Office app, so they can save directly to there, do sharing, and there's a couple of cool features in there that would give them access to their documents anywhere, anytime. Now, there are a couple of upsell opportunities here. If they are currently using email on-premise, or they have email with another provider, maybe a better option to look at as a whole solution for the customer is the Business Premium bundle. This will give them email, calendaring, SharePoint, Link, and all the other online services part of Office 365, as well as the Office apps. So that could be a better option for them to move all their services over to the one-stop shop, and also trying to create a seamless solution. The other option is if they didn't want to move their mail because they maybe had on in-house mail platform or SharePoint, and they need to keep those there for other reasons, the Enterprise Pro Plus license would be a good option for them. So it adds access, as I mentioned earlier. It gives them some business intelligence tools. It also allows them to have shared computer activation. So if they were using terminal services or Citrix and they wanted to have it so they have it natively on their laptop as well as on their terminal services or Citrix instance, you would need to have the Pro Plus license. that allows you to get that shared computer activation. And as I said earlier, it supports extra Active Directory and further syncing that they might, or integration that they might need with their on-premise solutions. Looking at this second customer needs analysis, this user is looking at more at replacing their email solution. So they may have an old 2007 Exchange or even a 2003 Exchange, or they may be just using Gmail or Lotus Notes or something like that, and they want to move to a more professional email platform. So Office 365 has you covered there with the Business Essentials plan. So this basically would allow the customer to get a 50 gig email box, which will have all the functionality of Exchange. They'll be able to access that on any device with active sync. It also gives them the built-in malware and spam filtering. Along with that, it also gives you access to OneDrive, as mentioned earlier, Link and SharePoint. So that could be a bit of value add, or it could also replace some other solutions that they have already on premise. So there's an upsell opportunity here as well. So the opposite to the last one, in that maybe they've got old versions of Office and other solutions that they would want to get off. So by selling them the Business Premium or positioning the Business Premium as a better solution for them, that would also allow them to keep them up to date with their Office apps on any mobile device. And then finally, if they wanted to just stick to the mail part of the solution, there is the E1, which would mainly be probably the advantage of the E1 over the Business Essentials outside of the seat limitation, is the hybrid deployment. So they could have a more hybrid solution if they needed, there was some in-house scenario that they needed to cover off. So that gives you some examples of some real use world cases where you can sell Office 365. So finally here, we'll look at some options around creating your own bundles. So at SherWeb, we had access to the CSP program earlier in the year when it launched. And one of the first things we did is we looked at our solutions and thought of ways that we could bundling Office 365 in with our own cloud solutions. So one of the obvious ways of that is just to have the business SKU, which is the Office apps, linked with our Exchange. So if a customer has a need to have their hosted Exchange with us and have different features that say aren't currently available in Office 365, they can link our Exchange, but they also want the power and productivity of the Office apps. We have them bundled together at one price. We've also done that with SharePoint, so we've created our own distinct SharePoint solution, and we've bundled that in with the Office apps and Exchange. And then the last two bundles on the right of this slide, we also have a backup solution and a compliance solution. So the backup solution gives them a certain amount of storage, which they can use to back up their their PCs at work, also servers. So if they had an in-house server that they need for some line of business app that they need and they wanted to back up some solution there, it can be used in the Exchange Plus backup bundle. And on the compliance side, if they need an extra level of security around email encryption, there's an option there for them there as well. So we offer archiving and encryption and Exchange and Office apps all bundled into one solution. So these are some examples of what SherWeb's done. But there's also so many opportunities for you to create your own bundles. So a managed Office bundles is an example of what some resellers have created. So they've taken Office apps and they've taken a backup solution and email, Link, and SharePoint. They've bundled it all together into one solution, and they've provided their customers with a $1 per month fee to basically say, okay, per month you get all these fees included, and we're managing your IT Office infrastructure. If you're a reseller that focuses on SharePoint management, you could take that SharePoint management and excuse me, offer Office apps or Exchange and other solutions in with that solution, in with that bundle, to create a more complete solution for that customer. And as I said, there's file sync and share, online backup, security and compliance. There's a lot of different bundles that you could piece together. It's really up to you on how you want to do that. So here at SherWeb, what we're trying to do is what we're trying to provide you is a one-stop solution. We're providing you the building blocks and the pieces which allows you to put together a solution for your customers. So whether that be traditional software as a service with Exchange and SharePoint and Link, or it's infrastructure as a service, so they have a line of business app that you need to, what you want to move to the cloud, you can take that one of our cloud servers and bundle it with our Office 365 Exchange and Office app bundles and put something together that suits your customers. So it's all about choice, and it's all about building a solution that's best for your customers. So that's come to the end of the presentation. We're now ready for any questions if anyone has any questions. So the first question we have here is, are all the Office 365 plans and SKUs available through the CSP program? That's a good question. Yes, they are. Well, I'll caveat that. Majority of them, Microsoft is bringing online every month, new plans and services that they may launch through Office 365. It can be a little bit of a delay with the CSP program, but I would say that there's not many at this stage that aren't available direct with Microsoft that aren't in the CSP program. So we're currently, as I mentioned, we have the business SKUs and the enterprise SKUs, and we also have Visio, Project, Link, Exchange Online, OneDrive for Business as a standalone, and all those other SKUs. So majority, if not all, I would say, are available through the CSP program. Okay, another question. Is there a fee to join the SherWeb Partner Program? No, there is no fee to join the SherWeb Partner Program. It's a free program to join. The work that obviously would need to go in from you working with our business development managers to work up solutions for your customers, but there is no fees to join. So you can join any of our programs. I'll just flick to the next slide to basically by either visiting sherweb.com/partners or calling the number that's on your screen now, and you will speak to one of our experts, and they will discuss with you the multiple solutions as we discussed right at the beginning of the presentation, and find one that best fits your needs and start working with you to get you on board and get you up and selling as quick as possible. The question is asking, what is our fee structure? Just at a high level to not go into too much detail. So we will sell to all our partners at a buy price, and that buy price is generally set as a tier of discount off our retail price, and some though are just the buy price. So we will give you a wholesale rate, I guess is the right words for it, and then you would be billed at that wholesale rate, and then you add a markup on top of that to bill to your customers. So for our Exchange and Office 365 and Performance Cloud, it's you would know up front what you're going to be billed, and then that would allow you to build the margin. So great. Well, that wraps it up. Just some quick housekeeping, I guess, towards the end of the slides. The presentation will be made available to everyone who's joined. It'll be up online in the next couple of days. The video will be there to be watched at any time if you would. Want some light video watching, you'll be able to watch the webinar. I'd like to say thank you very much to David for joining us today. Are you still there, David?
I am.
Thank you very much to David. And thanks to everyone for joining. We'll be running fairly regular webinars around Office 365 and SherWeb, so look out for something in the future. And thank you very much for your time.